as much as I enjoy gaming on the Nintendo Switch, the truth is that the system that does it for me is the 3DS XL, but also the 2DS XL. And it's no wonder, as it has such a great library. And it got me wondering what games would make a perfect fit if ported over to the Nintendo Switch or even remade. So with that being said, let's talk about it. Now, this video is very special because the entire community has come together and joined forces to help me select and curate this list with some of the best titles that they feel deserves a spotlight and a second chance to the Nintendo Switch. But of course, if you do not agree or you feel like one game was left out, make sure to drop it in the comments below and let me know which games you desire for it to be ported or remade to the Nintendo Switch. Now, number 1 on my list is Dragon Quest VII. And in Dragon Quest VII, you can customize your party with over 30 vocations and level up in turn-based battles to learn new spells and abilities in this timeless quest. Meet a colorful cast of characters that will help you change time as you solve their problems and save their lives. Now, number 2 on this list is Stella Glow. I personally streamed it, so if you want a good laugh seeing my reactions while playing this game, go check out a video that I will link in the video description. But it's one of my community's faves, so it made it to the list. And in Stella Glow, it is a turn-based RPG developed by Magipoach for the Nintendo 3DS, but unfortunately, this would be the last title before they filed for bankruptcy. But in this game, you can befriend the witches who can stop Hilda, the Witch of Destruction, from eliminating the world and them with her curse of crystallization. With magics, weapons, and superior tactics, they are all necessary to balance combat, but also to succeed in this game. Now, number 3 on my list is Harmonite, and this one is actually really fun as it is an action-packed rhythm game that uses tempo's music notes, staff to beat drums, crash cymbals, and smack enemies through more than 50 levels with unique boss fights. You can team up with multiple characters such as Lyra, who can slide under obstacles and shoot arrows, and Tycho, who can pound powerful beats with his drums. You can jump, hit, and groove your way through 8 huge worlds, and also you can bob your head to original music from the makers of Pokemon. Now, number 4 on my list is one of my personal favorite series, and that is Mario and Luigi. They have several games that made it to the 3DS library, but the one I'm going to hint out in this list is Dream Team. Mario Luigi Dream Team is all about them embarking on the adventure of their dreams through this action RPG where it takes place at the resort of Pio's Island with the wild Luigi's imagination, where honestly anything can happen. You get to master 2 worlds by switching between controlling both brothers when battling in the real world and controlling Mario and an army of Luigis in a dream world battles. You can also find new items and gear to customize Mario and Luigi to your own play style. I've been playing this series way back from when I owned a Game Boy Advance, and I personally miss these games. They're just a perfect fit, so definitely check it out. Now, number 5 on my list is also a complete series, and you cannot go wrong with either one, and that is Professor Layton. But the one I'm going to recommend is Professor Layton and the Azran Legacy, because in this one, it completes the series as it brings brilliant puzzle games with a fascinating story to create a riveting formula that has provided great entertainment for mystery fans, but also for puzzle-solving gurus alike. This storyline brings in a new puzzle-driven narrative from level 5, where you get to help Professor Layton and his assistants to solve the greatest puzzles mankind has ever faced and uncover the mysteries surrounding the ancient Azran civilization. So if you like some good history, but also something to kind of sit down, chill, solve some puzzles, and then move on with your day, definitely check out Professor Layton and the Azran Legacy. Now in Kid Icarus Uprising, it brings the action-adventure of this beloved series to new heights and new visual dimensions. The dark goddess Medusa and her underworld army have returned, and they've got their sight set on the heroic angel Pit. With the aid of Palutena, goddess of light and guardian of the human race, Pit must fend off his malevolent threat. With stunning 3D visuals, this would for sure make a good port or sequel to the Nintendo Switch. Now, number 7, you guys should know by now, it had to make it on this list, and that is Fantasy Life. Now, if you're curious and knowing more about this game, I'm gonna link once again a video in the video description where I did a complete full review talking about Fantasy Life. So make sure to check it out in your free time. But Fantasy Life, you can choose one from 12 life classes at virtually any time to access different abilities. This combat class has fierce fighters, while the crafter class is skilled at making stronger weapons and tools. And of course, you cannot forget your gatherers, which are great at gathering, of course, your resources that are needed to complete this game. When not battling, you can spend time upgrading your property, completing side quests, and leveling up skills. So embark on the adventure of your life as you craft, cast, fish, mine, or battle like never before. Now in Kirby Planet Robobot, your goal is to stop these ruthless invaders from mechanizing Kirby's home world. You can smash through obstacles, lift heavy objects with ease, and scan enemies to shapeshift into new modes with powerful abilities in this supercharged action platformer. After saving the world, team up with 3 friends to defeat foes in Team Kirby Clash, an RPG-styled 4-player brawl where you choose from varied roles and level them up. I'm a Luigi's Mansion fan, so of course, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon had to make it on this list. And in Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, it gives the players multiple mansions to explore, a variety of puzzles to solve, but also new ghosts to explore. Players can activate a new strobe function to stun the ghost before sucking them with your Poltergust 5000. Plus, you get to complete a number of missions assigned to him by Professor Egag. So if you're a fan of Luigi's Mansion, I highly suggest play Dark Moon, and I don't know, hopefully, maybe, you never know. Number 10, and that is The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. Brought to life in 3D, this beloved top-down world is the perfect backdrop for a sweeping new tale. Dungeons sink deep below the screen as Link and his attacks pop out, highlighting the non-stop action. You can shoot an arrow, toss a boomerang, bomb a wall, then emerge into a painting to slide between 2 worlds. And that, you can do it all in a matter of seconds. It was so hard to choose a good Zelda game, but you guys asked and I delivered. Let's move on to number 11. Now, if you've been enjoying this video, do me a favor and smash that like button. Now, moving on, number 11 is Radiant Historia. And Radiant Historia is a beloved classic that contains a great deal of added gameplay, story content, updated presentation, and new ways to experience the adventure. As the continent of Vancouver is slowly turning into sand, tensions rise and war breaks out for the remaining fertile land. With the powers of the new relic, the White Chronicle, Stock will need to right the wrongs of the past in order to prevent annihilation of the world. And moving on, number 12 is Bravely Default. And this fantasy RPG brings deep strategic combat, a turn-based combat with a compelling new risk and reward system that RPG fans will always obsess on. It is a hand-drawn 3D backgrounds and rousing score as you time your turns tactically and turn the tides in your favor with the new improved Brave Default system. With hundreds of different abilities, you can summon friends' characters to fight by your side or even borrow their abilities. It is a visually stunning quest to restore balance to the world. Now, this is only the beginning of this discussion, so let me know in the comments below if I didn't mention your game or if you feel that there are more titles that should be added to this list that deserves a proper spotlight. I mean, who knows? Maybe we might do a part 2 and your game might pop in that video. So as I always like to say, remember to stay positive with one another and of course, game on. So I've been a gamer for my entire life. I've been gaming ever since, and it comes to the point that sometimes it's so hard because you have so many options and so many great games to play, but not knowing what to play or what to buy. Have you ever had that problem? I know I have. And for that, I have a solution that sometimes some people overlook, and it's so powerful to help you make this decision. And about that, we're gonna talk about in a minute. Now, a quick update if you've been following the 3DS series about my 2DS. Here it is, guys. I finally have it with me. A special thanks to Nintendo for sending me back my original purchase, which was this 2DS XL purple and silver version. It is actually working this time. You don't know how happy I am. And let me show you a quick clip of me actually testing this out.
All right, guys, time to test it. So far, it's been working really good. I think they changed the screens and some components inside because it has not been freezing or glitching. Time to check the software and let's see how it works. So obviously this came with Mario Kart 7 included, so I re-downloaded my software, obviously, and we're gonna see now. I mean, so far, it's been very responsive. Yep. This time, guys, I think it was a success. It actually is working.
And there it is, guys. I'm so happy that this 2DS XL is finally working and I can get to play some great games, which comes to the question of what games am I even going to buy for it? Well, something that sometimes is very overlooked, and I've never heard anybody even bring it up on YouTube, is demos. Demos are such a powerful tool to help you try out a game for free, have a little preview of what the title might be about, and therefore help you facilitate the decision of should you buy the game or should you not. So for this video, I'm going to test out 5 titles that me, as a gamer personally, I would maybe be interested in buying, but I'm still not quite sure. And maybe this is your problem too. Now, if you're new to this channel, make sure to click that subscribe button and also activate all notifications when clicking the bell. And of course, don't forget to comment below, #news, so I can be able to welcome you into the ZapCristal community.
You people ready for the most deluxe tournament ever?
Yes.
Let the Wario Bowl games begin.
Let's do it.
You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Start cheering now.
Woohoo! Uh-oh.
Wario!
Huh? Who are you?
I'm gonna get you!
Uh-huh. I don't do autographs, kid. Anyway, first up, the Mash League. Next, Twist League. And finally, Touch League.
Okay.
Master all 3 leagues and you'll face the real master, me, Wario.
That's how you wanna play this?
Oh my God, what is with the attitude?
Let's get this over with.
I love how he just... Okay. Stop me? What did I do?
No way.
Okay, hold up, hold up. What am I supposed to do? Ow! No, you cannot!
Ooh.
Okay. Dodge.
Not bad.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh, speed up. I see what you're trying to do. Stop. Yes, I did it. Watch closely. There's 3. 3. 3. Did I do it? Yes, I did. Spotlight.
Wake up!
What? Oh, I had to move it. I'm sorry.
Get ready!
The boss stage, okay. What do I do now? Escape? Ah! Ah! Did I die? Ah! No! I didn't make it.
Last chance.
I got confused. I was looking at the right. Oh! Hurry up! Hurry up! Hurry up! No! All right, we're gonna try it one more time and see if I can do it. Dodge!
Not bad.
Thank you, thank you. Oh, let's match the door close.
Whoa.
Yes. All right. Stop. Ow! I just knew. Oh, I did it wrong.
Come on.
Ah. Okay, we're gonna speed it up. There's two. Two of them. Two. Did we do it?
Cool.
Yes, we did. Stop. 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 Yes. Spotlight. Spotlight. Keep the spotlight. I think I know how to do it now. Yes, I did it. All right, the boss stage. Is this the one that's like running? I think this might escape. Okay, I think I know how to do it now. Okay. All right, just focus on running. Oh! What did I do? Oh, I keep getting confused. Why did I keep thinking I was the one on the right? No, maybe I was the one on the right. Okay, let's run. Yes! Oh! Got it! I see what happened. It just changed. Yes! Oh, this is so clever! It just changed from screen to screen. Wow! Okay. I did it?
Hey, looks like you beat the Mash League warm-up. Guess now I can crank up the heat.
Now with this game in particular, I gotta be quite biased about it because I love Wario games. I've been playing them since the Wii U, and now having this experience on my 3DS made it even more fun. This demo was a perfect example of what a Wario game can do on a 3DS family system. From the mini games to the interactions to Wario's dialogue, the environment, the whole story that it doesn't really take itself seriously. It just makes the game so much fun to play. I really want this game in my 3DS collection, and yeah, this might do it for me thanks to the demo.
All right, guys, now we're trying out Stella Glow. I've heard a lot about this game. It's usually one of those games that in physical copies, a lot of people want to collect, but the real question is it a good game? Is it a game I would actually purchase and have it in my own collection? So let's check it out, shall we? Oh, here he goes.
This is payback.
Luckily, I leveled up, so. Oh, I took him down. That means boss time. It's a boss fight. All right, we gotta be very meticulous. But I guess I'm just gonna go straight for it. Let's see. Can I attack? No, I cannot. But I can definitely wait. And I feel like that's gonna be my option. And for her, we're gonna definitely try to move close. So there we go. I think that looks good. I'm kind of prone to him. He looks a lot stronger. But I don't think we did that bad. All right.
I'll go.
Oh, you know what? I just remembered. I can definitely use my double dash on him. Let's see.
Hold stance. 1, 2.
I thought I'd get it right for sure today.
Well, it's all right. Looks aside, your cooking tastes fine.
Really?
Of course.
Well, have seconds and thirds then.
Yeah. Let's dig in.
Is this just gonna keep going? Oh no, no. Is there more?
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
no.
stuffed. I don't even want to look at steak for a while. I think I'll swing by Lizette's room and...
Are we just watching a show?
Wrap it up.
So, will you accept it?
Of course.
Just say yes,
I'll treasure it.
please. Are we done?
Whoa.
Oh my
It looks
God.
nice on you.
Thanks. Today was the
going
best
on?
birthday ever. Thanks, Alto.
Good night, Lizette.
Welcome.
See you
Bye.
tomorrow.
End it.
Can we? So are we allowed to play? Can we play now? So far, I've played just one battle in this forest. Jeez, does it have dialogue? No wonder it has an auto option. Do you want to save your story? At this point, yes, because I don't know what to expect. Okay. Do you want to? No, I don't. Can I? Day 1. Wow, that was day 1? So are we gonna... Can we walk around the village? Can we buy things?
Now, let us begin.
Let us begin? Are you telling me we're not even halfway done?
With your very own story.
My very own story, okay. Does that mean now we can actually play? Oh no. Oh no, not another cutscene.
All right, so going through all these demos, as I was playing them, my reactions were vastly different among each other, as you can tell. As for Stella Glow, when I started playing it, the impression that it gave to me at the very beginning is that it is too long. It felt like a novel. It really felt like I was sitting down and watching something instead of actually playing the game, which I understood then why they even had an auto option for it, because of the extensive dialogue. First of all, I'm not really into tactical strategy games. I feel like that already kind of influenced my reaction and impression for this game. And it is a little more slow paced for my likings. So I don't know if I personally would want to purchase Stella Glow. You might have a different opinion. Let me know in the comments below. But as of for me, I don't know. I was kind of half and half on Stella Glow.
Is Kirby's Battle Royale. I've never played this. Let's check out the demo and see if I'm gonna like it or not, ladies and gentlemen. I'm ready to play. Okay, now that we know what we gotta do, let's do it. So this is like a nice little mini game. Kind of reminds me of Mario Party in a way. All right, let's see if I can make a nice successful first attempt. All right, that's me. Let's go. Oh, let's hurry up. Let's grab these apples. Oh, I see. So the apples are growing like crazy. And then let's just open this door. I think I'm doing a pretty good job. All right, let's grab all these apples. And let's throw them. I really like this game. I feel like it's a little bit more fast-paced for like the type of games I like to and enjoy playing. And so far, this is kind of doing it for me right now. It doesn't take itself too seriously either. So I don't know how many he has, but I want to say I am winning. But then again, we don't know, right? It does say I can carry as many apples as I want. Oh,
8, 7,
I gotta hurry up.
5, 4,
There we go.
2,
Did I win?
1. Finish.
I did win. Yes, I did it.
Now, as for Kirby Battle Royale, wow. Now that's a perfect example of a game I'm into. It's fast-paced, it's action-driven. It reminded me a lot of Mario Party. I kept saying it while I was playing the game, and it really does. It, you know, from the graphics, the environments, to the mini games, to all the little quirky things you can do. And of course, you add a pinch of Kirby into it, and it makes the game so much fun to play. I really did enjoy it, and I think this is one of those games that I need to have in my 3DS collection. I'm so happy I actually played the demo because I got to explore more of this game because there's so many Kirby games on the 3DS. And this one was kind of one of those that I just overlooked, but now playing the demo, I was like, yeah, maybe I should go back and pick it up now for my 3DS collection.
Are you okay?
Block that side.
You got it. Come on.
Wait, hold it.
Hey,
Oh no.
I can't see.
Oh no.
Red, hold on on to it.
Hold on to it.
For you to say, but
I know, right?
Ow, 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 my ears. That's me.
oh, sorry, old timer. Pikachu?
You're stretching out my ears. Would you let me go?
That was you talking?
Could have been more gentle setting me down.
In the meantime, I wasted 2 hot dogs. Pikachu is,
That's not too bad, even with all the ketchup on it.
I would like a little less ketchup on mine. Oh no! Mash A. Oh, we got it. Do I gotta mash? No.
And then we'll just ask her for the same thing. So right now we're trying to find out more about this Pokemon incident in the city, but also trying to kind of put the pieces together. That's actually pretty simple. So now we just have to like continue talking with people. So if you like the Detective Pikachu movie, I guess the game is based off of the movie. And I guess, or inspired if we want to put it that way. So it's really interesting because it lets you use the touch screen, so you can set the clues. You can also open your case notes and select the witnesses and then piece it together to find out what to do. So now we got to select in what direction the Apon went. So if you have any doubts, you can always go back, open your case notes, and then read and figure it out all over again. So there's a lot of like backtracking back and forth to figure out what to do. So let's set the course, shall we, and see where it goes from here. They went, they ran to the park. So that's where we're going to go now.
As for Detective Pikachu, it is a detective game, and detective games tend to be very slow paced. You got to take your time looking for traces of evidence, examining the scene, interviewing witnesses, and then deducing what's going to happen next in the story. So it definitely is a lot more of a slow paced game. I had a lot of mixed feelings again because I tend to like more fast paced games. So I feel like if it does, I don't know, speed up and bring a little bit more action, a little bit more interest in the story, then it would make me want to play more. But in the meantime, it was a little too slow for my likings. Once again, I tend to go to fast-paced games. That's kind of my go-to. So, but I understand. Detective games tend to be that way. So I'm gonna kind of let it go and figure out if later on I enjoy the game just a little bit more. Now for Ribbon Thief and the Emperor's Treasure, it was a major learning curve for me. I failed so many times, as you guys can see, because again, ribbon games are not my go-to. So it is a learning curve every time I try to play one. I usually stay away from it because even though some of them might be really good, I'm not really good at it. But for some reason, once I retried on my 3DS later on during the day, and you guys saw me playing it, I actually learned how to play it properly. And once I got the swing of it, it started becoming fun. So I think that this game, I might actually give it a try and play it later on. And who knows, I might actually enjoy it more and more. So when it comes to ribbon games, yeah, I feel like it's a really good game. And with this, I want to emphasize that it doesn't matter how many videos you can watch over a game, nothing substituted as you experiencing it yourself through a demo or through a full purchase. So I encourage you guys that while the eShop is still functioning and you still have the opportunity to do it, download these demos and try out the games for yourself. You might be impressed or surprised of a title that you overlooked, and then later on you realize, hey, I should give it a shot. Let me buy it. Guys, if you want to know if I'm actually going to buy some of the titles that I tested out in this video, then make sure to tune into our 3DS series, because in the next episode, I will reveal to you guys what games I've added to my 3DS collection, and if any of these games that I tested out today made it into my collection. With that, guys, I will leave a video of the series so you can continue watching if you're collecting for the 3DS right now. Ever Oasis is one of the biggest reasons of why I ended up picking up a 2DS XL. It is such a fun game, and I am thrilled to share a full review with each and every one of you guys. We're going to cover everything from the story to the gameplay and controls, visuals and audio, even what it's going for nowadays. So if you don't have the slightest clue of what Ever Oasis is about and want to find out, then sit back tight and let's talk about it. Hey guys, what is up? My name is Zap. I go by ZapCristal, and in this video, like I mentioned earlier, I am prepared to offer you a full review for Ever Oasis. Now, in my past episode, I started covering an entire list of must downloads for free-to-play games, but also ones that you might want to avoid. So definitely check out that episode after watching this. But yes, we're gonna jump into covering everything you need to know before even considering buying Ever Oasis. So with that being said, let's jump into the story of what Ever Oasis is all about. Now, the story of Ever Oasis is simply you building an evergreen oasis in the middle of a desert and being a chief and provider for those weary travelers and soon-to-be residents. Now, all of these soon-to-be residents are creatures that are known as seedlings because they're born with a tiny seed buried deep within their hearts. And as part of that, you are the seed of the great tree where you become ally with a water spirit to be able to create oases. Now, there is an entity called Chaos whose job is to consume souls and turn creatures into monsters. One of your objectives while creating this evergreen oasis is to make sure that you have a rainbow that radiates constantly to keep chaos out. And therefore make sure that your residents are happy because happiness is everything in this game. Now, your objective is to become a children of the great tree chief and eliminate chaos by building an evergreen oasis. Now, this might sound simple, but it actually isn't, as there's quite a lot of things that you need to achieve in this game. So with the story being covered, let's jump into gameplay and controls to show you everything you can do in Ever Oasis. Hey guys, special announcement. If you are in the Atlanta area, then I got news for you. I'm going to be there around July 15th to the 17th for Southern Fried Gaming Expo. Yes, you heard it right. I've been invited as a special guest. I will be there, and I will be even hosting a special panel during the event. For more info, check out the video description for links and for more info on panels. I will see you guys very soon. And now, back to the video. All right, so in gameplay and controls, there are quite a few things that you can actually do while playing this game. Now, one of these things is you have what is called a green gel that stands for a strong win. And the motive for this is to be able to eliminate chaos or obstacles that you will find along the way or in your very own oasis. Now, note, this green gel will grow stronger as you rank up in the game. Now, speaking about these travelers that I mentioned earlier in the story, these travelers will move eventually and they will be registered. And when they're registered, you can actually view their skills and even favorite stuff. You can host festivals, and a part of the residents, there are also little creatures that are called nukes. Now, these nukes won't become residents, but they can actually buy, as you will build shops, and one of your goals and mission is to constantly provide and supply inventory for exchange of happiness and currency, as these residents will build shops that are known as bloom booths. Now, another thing that you can do in this game is gardening. And let's say you're not the type of person that actually enjoys doing gardening, then you can actually delegate these roles to your residents in your oasis. So it is that simple. You have multiple options of either doing it yourself or delegating these roles to be time effective with your day. You also own a home in this oasis with several things inside, such as a hammock to be able to save or move forward time. You have a second level which will let you craft items and armor, and you even have a storage chest where you can optimize your equipment and store all of your things. It actually has an auto option, so you can optimize your weapons without having to do it manually, and it'll set it into the best optimization for you. So that's always a plus. I tend to do that a lot because I just want to move on with the game and not waste my time doing all those things manually or individually. So there's a pro tip for you. Now, another interesting thing about these residents is that they can join or leave your party at any time. So if you are on a mission or you're doing some exploration or you're delegating roles, then they can easily join you, help you get the work done, and then go back to the oasis so they can continue selling from their bloom booths. Now, remember that I mentioned earlier that happiness is everything? Well, it is literally everything in this game. Now, going back to the bloom booths and them being able to sell, your job, like I mentioned earlier, is to supply inventory so you can keep them happy. So every time a merchandise sells or is restocked, there is a quest gauge that will increase. And once full, the owner will give you a special request that will allow them to level up their bloom booth. There's also a water shrine that is used to level up your oasis as well, with the water spirit that you get to become an ally with while building your evergreen oasis. And there's even traveler rumors. Once the residents are established in your oasis, they will share potential seedling spots for the option of inviting them to your oasis. With this comes the expeditions that you will later have the opportunity of organizing teams to depart on quest for resources. Now, another cool thing about this game is that you're not only stuck in your oasis, you're going to do a lot of exploration in unknown lands. And with that comes the battle system itself. So let me cover a little bit about how you can battle in this game. So let's say you're in the desert and you're ready to fight enemies. Well, one is that you can use Y to pull out or put away your weapon. L will be to lock your target, and then your two options as for actions or commands will be A for your light attack and then X for your heavy attack. And then sometimes you're just gonna have to realize that you're not ready to fight them, so therefore put away your weapon and flee as fast as you can. As if you die, you will only have options to warp back to your last save or restart the game all over again. So be wise with who you're gonna battle with and who you're like, no, I should avoid, let me flee. So very important. Now, like I mentioned, a part of being able to battle the monsters, you're gonna do exploration. And a lot of these explorations are inside caves. So you get to explore these caves through story mode. And my best comparison for these caves are, if you've played games like Zelda, Majora's Mask, etc., it is very similar. It's very heavy on puzzle solving. You have your boss fights in these caves and in these temples that you get to explore. And there's even different modes, which I will not spoil, of course, but it will involve you forming teams and forming parties where you can play with them and not go solo entirely on your own. So there is a lot of stuff to do when you're outside of your oasis. Now, another thing that will happen once you come back from the trip or expedition that you went out on is that you will be able to level up, as every time you battle, you will accumulate experience. So there will be experience gained, but also your residents' happiness is everything, as you will have what is called a smile meter, and this will help you in your HP, in your health, and also in keeping you protected while you're outside of the oasis. Now let's talk about the menu itself and the layout and how they've organized everything to make the gameplay easier in Ever Oasis. So for your menu layout, at the bottom center, you will have two options. You have the option to do fast travel, which is amazing because if you're tight in a spot and you want to go back to the oasis, you can actually fast travel back to your home or to different warp points that you have created in the game. Also, you have an option that is called Bloom Booth, which is kind of like your building mode. As you open this, you will be able to help the seedlings and your residents to build more shops, but also other things that will make your oasis attractive to outside travelers. So there is a simple building mode, and of course it requires currency in order to be able to build. As for the menu has multiple options, some that are just quicker access to things that you need to do. So like for example, you have status, which lets you see the basics, lets you see your equipment, the skills that you have, and your weapon actions. You also have a residence, which simply shows all of the residents that you now have living in your oasis. You also have the build mode, which is the same as your Bloom Booth. You have recipes that you can unlock. You have things which are simply the stuff you accumulate that you can sort or you can see to see what you have in stock and what you don't. You have your resident requests, which they will make from time to time for you to fulfill in order to level up the Bloom Booths or to even give them the opportunity of becoming a resident. And you have options, which is simply a way to adjust your camera, which offers you two modes, which is normal or reverse. So you have those options when it comes to the camera for the game. Now, another thing that you have that you will use a lot is your map. And your map is an icon that you can find at the bottom left. So if you're not sure where you are, you can simply access your map to pinpoint potential soon-to-be residents or to mark where you need to go. So we covered a good chunk of the gameplay and controls, and now it is time to jump into visuals and audio. Let's cover first visuals, and then later on we will talk about the audio for this game. So as for visuals, it has this sprite-like fantasy creatures within an ancient Egyptian aesthetic. It has available a 3D feature, so if you're playing this on your 3DS XL, you can be able to turn on easily this 3D feature to be able to enjoy it. Now, something that I wanted to point out is that it was interesting to see that the developer stated that some features in the battle system were carried over from the Mana series. So it's a combination between Final Fantasy, Mana series, and even Zelda. As you all know, or you probably don't know, the developer that created Ever Oasis actually worked on these projects. So he decided to combine all of these games that you probably enjoy into a unique battle system for Ever Oasis. So I think that it definitely shows while you're playing the game, the grand influence that it's carried over from these other amazing games. As for the palette and for the colors and for the art style itself, it goes very, very well. It has these very bold colors that makes each environment stand out. And when it comes to emphasizing chaos, I think they went very well with the purplish and black and just dark colors to show how bad this influence is compared to the rest of the colors that it's known throughout the entire game of Oasis. So it's very bold and very different from what Fantasy Life has to offer, for example. Now, when it comes to the audio, again, just like Fantasy Life, the audio is on point. It is so well done, and even if you're not playing the game, it is definitely something that is very enjoyable to leave and listen to in the background. You know, from the oasis itself to the desert, to different environments, even the caves itself when you go into exploration. Again, just like Fantasy Life, I want to point out that I love how they made a difference from night and day when it comes to the soundtrack. You know when it's nighttime, it's very chill, it's very soothing compared to the day where it's very amped up, ready to go for explorations. So I love that. And then it hints you, obviously, when there's enemies near you, where you're in danger or you're ready to jump into a boss fight. The music quickly changes also to alert you of, hey, get ready to fight. So the audio is, I think that for a 3DS game, is magnificent. It's up there with Fantasy Life for me as well. So yes, I love what they've done, and I think it really shows the passion and the love put into Ever Oasis. So we've covered visuals and audio. Let's jump into the value now and what the game is currently going for if you're deciding to pick it up. All right, guys, we're ready to jump into the value and how much this game is currently going for. Now, all of the prices that I'm going to show in this video is for US region only. So if you're looking for a copy CIB complete in box, this is going for $66. And if you don't mind looking for it loose, then you will pay around $46 for it. And if you're looking for it sealed, new, unopened, then it's currently going for $74. All right, so for my final verdict with Ever Oasis, I have to say that this was one of the very first games I got to play when I picked up a 2DS XL as my birthday gift. And I have to say it did not disappoint me at all, as I 100% completed this game. But even finishing the game, I always have the opportunity to even go back and replay it again differently, or go through a different route of completing even more things that they have to offer, such as challenges that you can try to battle and optimize your skills. So if you're into RPGs and adventure games and you enjoy games like Final Fantasy, the Mana series, Zelda games, then you're definitely going to have a blast with Ever Oasis. Let me know in the comments below if you currently own it, if you've played it, what are your thoughts, would you recommend it? And let's share all together as one big community. Coming up next week, I have more content regarding to my 3DS and offering you a full update of where the collection is and what is currently going on. I will see y'all in the next one. Stay rad, beautiful peeps, and game on. So what got me into 3DS collecting was the simple reason that a lot of these games haven't been ported over to the Nintendo Switch, such as Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, Hey Pikmin, Ever Oasis, and so many other great titles. And I'm glad I did it because there are so many great games for this handheld. And I'm gonna show you, of course, some of the games that I now added and how my collection has grown ever since. All right, let's start showing you all the goodies that I've added. I'm so excited. Let's start off with Mario and Luigi. This one is the Superstar Saga plus Bowser minions. Now, I originally owned this for my GBA back in the day, and it's a really good game. But the cool thing about this one in particular is that this one has now added content. So I was like, yeah, if I'm gonna pick it up, I might as well pick it up for my 3DS collection. That way I can go back, revisit the good old days, but then explore the new content that they now added. And of course, following up with the Mario and Luigi series, I cannot forget to pick up Mario and Luigi Paper Jam. Now this one, I kind of didn't get what it was at first until I played a little bit at the beginning, and now I'm like overly excited for this game because this game is a combination of the Mario and Luigi series, but also of Paper Mario. So you got the best of both worlds mixed in together under one game. I didn't even think this was possible until I played Paper Jam. Now, another game that I was very intrigued, and thanks to a demo, I actually discovered that I wanted this game, is Monster Hunter Story. Now, first of all, I am a sucker for artwork, and this cover looks amazing. It's so colorful, the colors are vivid, and the way they even stylized the whole concept of it is really good. And out of all of the farming simulator ones that are available for the 3DS XL, I decided to pick up Story of Seasons, Trio of Towns. Now, the reason why I picked this one up is that I really like the concept behind this game. It's a farming simulator, so that by itself is already fun, but it opens up to three towns that are unique, that are different worlds that you can discover and you can interact. And later on, if I'm not mistaken, I think you can even decide where you want to live. Another game that is also a farming simulator is Harvest Moon. Obviously, Harvest Moon, who doesn't know Harvest Moon, right? It's so popular. It's been popular ever since. And Harvest Moon, I decided to pick up this one, which is 3D, A New Beginning. Now, even though I have Story of Seasons, I still wanted to test this one to see how this one would play out. So in other words, I got two farming simulators that I can jump back and forth and have my very own farm, this time for real, in 2 games. Now, you guys know, I love my boy. I love Bowser Jr. and I love Bowser. As soon as I saw it said Bowser Jr. Journey, I was like, I need it. I need it. I need to find out the story of my son, of my adopted son. So don't judge me, y'all. Don't judge me. But yeah, I'm super excited to dive into this, mainly because I want to discover more about this extra content that is now available. So it's a no-brainer. If I want to complete a full Mario and Luigi series, I need to have every single game. And of course, if you're into visual novels and puzzles just like I am, then it's a no-brainer. You have to pick up Professor Layton and the Miracle Mask. Now, before I continue showing you all the great games that I've added to my 3DS collection, on a random note, I kind of contemplated, can I limbo with 16 plus games? Well, let's find out. All right, guys, so you probably can limbo better than I can, but you know what's another thing you can do? You can actually click the subscribe button. So do me a favor and click it right now. Don't forget to hit the like button. And of course, activate your bell notification. So every time I release an episode weekly, you can stay up to date. Now, let's continue with something that's not limbo related, but of course, it's my list. So moving on with my list is Kirby and Planet is it Kirby and Planet Robobot? You know what? We're gonna leave this in this video. Kirby Planet Robobot. There we go. We got it right. This one is sealed. And the fun fact, I remember a lot of you guys mentioning it on previous episodes if I was ever gonna consider picking up this game. And my answer was, Yes, I needed to pick this up. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Moving on, we have The Sims 3. Not gonna lie, guys. After I purchased this, it's not really my favorite Sims game. Don't like it. On the opposite of bad, we have the real good game. If you still want a Sims game, not this Nintendo version, then there's this gem right here. I'm gonna say it openly. It's a gem. Tamagotchi Life. It's basically a Sims game, but with your Miis. This game, I was really excited because I mean, it's a common game, but it's one of my childhood memories, and that is Super Monkey Ball. I picked it up for the 3DS XL. It's a really fun game. It's like playing mini games, really, so don't expect too much out of it. Moving on, this is one of my most expensive games that I've now added to my 3DS collection. I was missing Yokai Watch 3, and I am thankful that I now have it added to my 3DS collection. This game is going for almost around $200 now if you're looking for a physical copy. Kirby Battle Royale. Once I experienced the game, I knew I had to have it. Another game that I want to give a special thanks to a friend of mine's, Rhea. She actually recommended me this game, and I'm glad I added it, was Fantasy Life. The reason why I added it was because she actually recommended me that if I enjoyed Ever Oasis, that I was going to enjoy then Fantasy Life, because they were very similar and they were great games to play. And I thank you, Rhea, for the recommendation, because you are absolutely right. I am enjoying this game as we speak, and I'm so glad that after finishing Ever Oasis, I can now dive into another great title such as Fantasy Life. And another game that I picked up that you guys should know right now, is WarioWare Gold. I played it, I liked it, I needed to have it. So am I satisfied or not with my 3DS collection, and why? So I'm kind of half and half on that. The reason why is because I am satisfied in a way of all the titles that I've picked up and I've added so far. These are games that I know that I will eventually play them all, and I mean, that's the whole deal with my library anyways. I wanted to pick up games that I know that even if the eShop closes, I would still have the opportunity of experiencing great titles. On the other hand, however, I know I still have a long way to go, because there's more and more titles that I discover every single day that I really, really want to add to my library. Some of these games are digital only, and some of these games do have a physical copy available. Like, for example, one of the games that I want to add to my 3DS collection is Kirby Triple Deluxe, I think it's called. That's one of those games that I still need to pick up and add. And there's some other games, like I said, that are digital only that I've gotten recommendations, thanks to you guys actually, that I want to download before the eShop permanently closes down. So it's half and half for me right now. But if you guys want to continue seeing more of these videos, I've got you covered with a complete playlist for 2DS and 3DS collecting. So if you're collecting for the 3DS XL and you want to know what are some of the titles that you should pick up, what are going up in price, what are still on an affordable price standpoint that you can pick up and add right now, then definitely check out this playlist that I'm going to link right now. Ever since I picked up this 3DS XL, I've been having a blast with its library of games that it has to offer for this unique handheld system. And one of these games that you guys have actually asked by popular demand is Fantasy Life. I've enjoyed this game, so I'm thrilled in this video to guide you through an entire full review of what this game has to offer. So with that being said, sit back tight and let's talk about it. Hey guys, it's your girl Zap, and I'm thrilled for this episode because in my past episode, I showcased to you guys all of the fun games that I've now added to my 3DS XL collection. And in this video, I'm going to break down every single aspect of what Fantasy Life has to offer. So if you have no clue what it's about, I'm going to start breaking down each aspect, from the story to the gameplay and controls to the visual and audio, and what makes this game so unique. So if you're ready like I am, let's jump into the story. The story of Fantasy Life is one truly magical, as in this city there is a goddess that is known as the life goddess that grants wishes to all of the residents from Riveria. Now, it is her wish that the way you grant each other's wishes is by choosing a unique life to live or a career. If it is your first time playing Fantasy Life, there are a total of 12 lives, 12 careers that you can choose from to play out the story. Some of these careers are, for example, Paladin, Mercenary, Hunter, a Wizard. You can be a Miner or a Woodcutter, an Angler, an Alchemist. You can be a Carpenter, a Blacksmith, a Cook, or even a tailor. Now note, you can change to any life or career that you want to experience by simply visiting the Master Guild. Now the only exception to this is that if you're doing some sort of story mission, it will of course not let you change it, but if you're doing your day-to-day task or request, then you most certainly will have no trouble whatsoever in switching and experiencing these different lives. So a total of 12. That is a handful. I first started as a tailor, which was super fun, and then halfway through the game, I switched my career to a wizard. It's like one of those careers that I really tend to enjoy the most, and I am having an absolute blast. So coming back to this game, and let's just say being able to play it 12 times because you can experience it to so many different careers and life makes this game already stand out. Now, of course, there's things that are happening throughout the story, and let me explain to you what is going on. So like I said, there is a life goddess that grants wishes, but something starts happening, and it is that the sky is practically falling. Why? Well, there's these doomstones that start falling from the sky and start affecting the entire land of Riveria. It somehow takes control over the animals of the land and the monsters, and putting all the residents prone to danger due to the control of these doomstones. They're studying what is causing this and how to eliminate this effect. And that is your task, of course, to jump into this journey and find out as well how you can be helpful in eliminating this trouble of the doomstones. Now, of course, you will have a companion that is known as a butterfly, but you really don't know how she can talk and why is she so shiny and why is she so interested in granting everyone's wishes. And of course, the story will show you more and more of not only what is going on and how to stop it, but finding more about this curious companion that joins you throughout the entire story. So that's really fun and exciting, of course. So the doomstones that are falling from the sky is some sort of apocalyptic event due to the lack of wishes being granted in Riveria, which is a huge and major problem. So your goal is to help let people know how to serve each other and grant these wishes and have wishes fulfilled in order to stop this apocalyptic event. But also, like I mentioned earlier, you're going to find a lot more information of this unique companion, which is the butterfly that joins you throughout the entire journey and story itself. So that's basically the story of Fantasy Life. But now let's jump into the gameplay and controls of the game. So with the freedom that this game has to offer, you can decide how you want to play the game. Now there are several options on how you can approach the gameplay itself. Let's start off with Bliss, B-L-I-S-S. These are story challenges or your to-do list in order to progress through the story. Now, by ranking your bliss and obtaining bliss points, you can unlock perks that will help you both in your traveling, but also in your own home that you will slowly start expanding and improving upon the story. So there is a lot of different perks, from having a horse that you can obtain for fast traveling to even buying bigger storage, etc., etc. So these bliss points will help you unlock perks for both traveling and for your home. Now, a part of the bliss are the challenges itself. Now, like I mentioned earlier in this video, you get to choose a life you want to live, a career. And these challenges help you rank in your career or in your choice of life that you have selected for this game. By completing this, it helps you unlock new skills. So you'll have a lot of new skills within your career that will help you move on and play and explore new areas. So these skills are essential if you want to continue traveling and exploring the entire land of fantasy life. So there's the challenges, but a part of the challenges, you also have resident requests. And resident requests are kind of like your side quests. So if you help them, you'll get rewarded with items, and you'll get rewarded with a currency in fantasy life that is known as Dosh, D-O-S-H. And that is the currency that you will need in order to buy more items, more weapons, better your armor, etc., etc. So there's a lot of options, and you can play this in however way you want. If you want to play solely the story, then you can do the bliss. If you want to rank up, then you do the challenges. And if you need some money to buy some things that you need in the game, then there's the resident request to fulfill it, and there's so much more. One of the other options that you have in this game is that you can actually unlock more allies to join you in your quest. Now, these can be non-playable characters that will join you or leave your party at any time, but also it can be other players that want to play with you the game. This is really fun because it lets you activate, of course, the Street Pass mode, but it also lets you activate the multiplayer option, both co-op and online. So other players can actually jump in and out at any time and at any point in the game to help you throughout your quest. So you don't have to play the game on your own. You can actually have other people tag along and play the story with you. Now, that sounds like a lot of fun if you ask me. This also provides more options like your bounty quest. It's kind of like the resident request that it lets you obtain in exchange as a reward, money, and more items. And if you're successful, then it'll be better and better, those rewards. So bounty quests in exchange for money and items, those bounties can be villains in the land, or it can be some challenging monsters that you will find along the way. Some of the controls is you can obviously crouch, you can dash, though I will say that stamina is a little limited, so you do have to be a little bit cautious and know how much you can use while exploring the area. Also, you can grab items, you can gather resources that you find throughout the land, you can craft items for upgrading your weapons and your armor, or to just better the career choice that you have selected in fantasy life. By completing more and more missions, you also better the options of various shops that you have throughout the town, like your general goods, your library, your restaurants, your pet shops for shopping, and even your real estate, which will help you move to different properties. And even buying a horse, like I mentioned earlier, for fast traveling. So you definitely want to probably fulfill these bliss points to unlock different things to better your shops, and therefore be able to buy these different things for fast traveling or for bettering your skills or upgrading your weapons to continue exploring the land of Riveria. Now, when it comes to the menu layout, I really like how they organize the entire menu layout. Let's start off with, first of all, you have your map, and your map is on the upper left, so you can easily access it from your bottom screen when you play from your 3DS XL or 2DS. So by simply tapping, it will open up the entire map so you can see the whole layout of the land itself. The quest option will be on your upper right, So when you simply tap that, it will open up and show you your bliss, your challenges, and your resident requests, and see which ones you have completed and which ones you still have to do. So that's really nice. But also your pouch will be on your lower right. So simply by tapping it again, it will open your pouch and it will show you some of the items that you're currently holding in storage. Now, a part of that, you also have your menu. And when you open your menu, there are several options, such as gear, which will help you equip your weapon and armor. You have your licenses, which is the same thing as your life ID or career ID that you have selected. You have status, which helps you view your status and even the status of your allies if you have anybody playing with you in the game. You have items, which will help you view, use, or sort your items. Skills, which will help you view your acquired skills, which you will also obtain points to improve selected skills. And last but not least, you also have bliss, which will help you view your bliss bonuses. So the entire menu is very well organized. So if you have any doubts or you're not quite sure of something that you may have or you may not have, then it's quick to access and go where you need to go. So we're done talking about gameplays and controls. Let's talk about visuals and audio. So visuals and audio. Let's start with audio. Audio is on point in this game. It has so much variety and it really stands out in fantasy life. Like each area you're exploring has a different soundtrack to just make it a part of the gameplay itself. And I think it's really well done. You know, from the snowy fields to the desert to the city itself, even the difference between day and night. They have a different soundtrack for each one of those factors. Even when you're doing your bounty quests, like it will stand out by having a unique theme that will alert you and let you know immediately, like, hey, this is a bounty quest, so just be ready for it. So I feel like they've done a really good job. And just also the little sound effects and details when it comes to the dialogue with the residents, to the doors, to walking when you're walking in the snow, when you're walking through the plains, the water, just overall, the audio is really well done. Going with the art style, I have to agree, just as the audio, the art style is on point too. It's very vibrant, it's very cheery, very colorful. It almost reminds me of like this Nintendo 64 art style as well. It's very similar. And if you've played Ever Oasis or Monster Hunter Stories, it looks very, very similar. And I just like it. I think it goes really well with what the game is called. It's called Fantasy Life. So having those very, very vibrant colors, vivid colors, very cheery colors is really, really nice. And just looking at the game is so refreshing. Like when you go visit the shops, they have so many little items in the background, you know, the little bottles, potions, everything just stands out, especially when you visit the different buildings for the different careers, how unique they are from one of the other. It's just a really fun world to explore, and I think they just really nailed it when it comes to the freedom that you have of exploring these different areas because you want to explore them. Even the enemies are different, or vastly different from each one of the areas and different lands that you will explore throughout Riveria. So art style and audio is very well done. All right, guys, so we're done talking about audio and visuals. Now let's jump into the value itself for the game. If you're looking for a physical copy and you are in the USA, then these are the prices for what the game is going for. If you're looking for a complete CIB copy, this game is going for $55. If you're buying it loose, then it's around $47 or so. And if you're looking for it new, sealed, unopened, then it's going for $67 so far. So I think it's a pretty good price. It's still affordable. So if you're looking for a physical copy, these are the prices for what the game is being sold and what it's going for currently right now. And now let's go to the final verdict. If I were to rank this game, I would automatically rank this game a 10 out of 10, mainly because of everything that I've mentioned, you know, from the gameplay to the controls, to the audio, to the visuals, to the story itself, and having so much replayability because you have 12 lives, 12 careers that you can choose from to play the game. I think it has so much to offer, and just having the freedom to explore and play the game in any way you want is just something unique that you don't see from a lot of games. So if you're into role-playing games or simulation games, then Fantasy Life is the game for you. So a special thanks to Rhea for actually recommending me to pick up Fantasy Life. I'm having a blast and playing this game still as we speak. And if you guys have any 3DS game requests that you would like for me to review, let me know in the comments below. So a lot of you, as well as I, have been doing quite a bit of online shopping. And you've noticed a lot of things in the recent months, such as games that are not necessarily from the US region, but are considered UAE edition. And with that, I've gotten asked if UAE edition games can be playable on a US 3DS system. Also, I've been asked about monetary and value differences based off of its region. So about that, we're gonna be talking more in a minute. To be able to answer your questions, one must define first certain terms and the differences among each other to understand better how to identify different packagings and different games from certain regions. So let's talk about the difference between region lock and region free. So region lock simply means that a game, a system, a product is locked to that zone, to that area, to that region. A perfect example, like back in the day, if I were to purchase a US VHS player, and then all of a sudden I purchase online a VHS from China. Well, I most certainly wouldn't be able to watch that VHS on my USA VHS player because it would probably be region locked. Now, the opposite of region locked is region free. And that simply means that it's not locked to a zone, it's not locked to an area, and it's not locked to a region in particular. Now, what are the reasons, or why are the many reasons that certain products are region free and certain products are region locked? Well, some of the reasons back in the day, it was just technology. A lot of our stuff were with analog output, while in other regions, they were handled in a different way. And for that itself, it would usually be identified based off by numbers, like from 1 to 7 on the back of your VHS player. Or for example, for Blu-rays, it would be identified with letters, A, B, C, etc. Now, the reason why products are sometimes region locked is mainly because they are business oriented. Like for example, copyright is one of the main issues and also takes a bigger role of why a lot of these products are region locked. There's no such thing as a worldwide organization that can protect all the companies and also make sure that they get paid fair royalties for their products. So a lot of these companies have to pay third-party companies for the distribution and localization of their video games or of their products in certain regions. Now, a perfect example of why it cannot be worldwide is that in certain regions, they can obtain licensings for certain titles, and they can only use the licensing in that region. But let's say they were to import the game to the US and they don't have the correct licensing for it, then they can't really release the game in that region yet due to copyrights and licensing. It's one of the major roles of this. Another one of those main reasons why a lot of products are region locked is as simple as pricing. Marketing and setting it at a fair price for that audience and for that community of that certain region. So pricing is going to change from region to region. It simply is how it is. depending when it was released, if it was early on, if it's later on, what type of currency they use in their location, in their region, and that will influence greatly of how they're going to price their video games. Another thing that a lot of people don't know and that is often overlooked because of the lack of information is analytics. Learning the popularity and demand of certain titles in certain regions. The reports you see that sometimes companies release of how a title did in, for example, in Japan compared to the USA is because of that. It's because based off of them analyzing the popularity of the game and the demand for that certain region. That helps developers greatly, as well as publishers, to decide if they're even going to consider doing a sequel, if they're ever going to consider revisiting the project and create a new title for that region in particular. And it is why mainly we see certain games that are only released in Japan and not in the USA, or vice versa. So that influences greatly, and that's why, one of the many reasons why certain products are region locked. And last but not least, when it comes to region locked games, one of the most important reasons, as well as copyright, would be for political reasons. The truth is, every state and every country has its own laws and its own rules that everybody has to respect, everybody has to follow through. So certain games have to sometimes be tweaked in order to be released in certain regions. For example, for us in the USA, a lot of games can be accepted with violence, with blood, with certain sexual things. But then when they're released in other places, maybe the country doesn't accept that. Maybe, due to politics, they don't accept certain things that we would accept here in the USA. So therefore, the developers have to change sometimes the characters, have to tweak the gameplay, have to eliminate certain violence in the games in order to make sure that they're following the laws, that they're following the rules, and that the game can be safely released to that region. So these are the many reasons, and there's so many more. If you actually know about this subject and would like to share some valuable information, make sure to comment below, and it is a win-win for the entire community. But I'm only presenting some of the many reasons of why a game or a product can be region locked. And now let's learn how to identify these things when it comes to the packaging itself. If you've been watching closely my journey and seen the games that I've added in my 3DS collection, you have noticed something that is what made you ask if these games are playable in a US 3DS system. And that is that some of my games have this little seal here at the bottom that says UAE Edition. Now, a lot of people have been a little fearful when making their online purchases because they're not quite sure if getting these games will allow them to play it on a US 3DS system. And the answer is yes, you can play these games. The only thing you need to make sure, though, is when buying these games, like for example on eBay or whatever store you use online, make sure to scroll down all the way to the bottom where it says product description, and there should be a little space where it says region, and you should be able to see from what region it is. If it says US/Canada, I repeat, US/Canada, then that means that you can play this game on a US 3DS system. So I have the Luigi's Mansion actually in a UAE edition, but not only do I have Luigi's Mansion in that version, I also have Ever Oasis that I picked up as a UAE edition. Another way to identify these symbols is by simply looking at the packaging of the game. Besides searching the product description, you can easily notice these changes when you purchase a game. Looking at the packaging is essential. Usually at the bottom left, there is a square that changes depending from what region it is. So simply looking at that will help you and give you an idea to know if it's from Australia, from Japan, or from the USA. But another thing to identify is this seal that is at the bottom right. Now, sometimes it could be at the bottom right, or sometimes it could be on the upper right. But regardless, you'll usually see this symbol that says UAE, and it stands for UAE Edition. That is a major difference from the US editions, obviously. Also, something that sometimes make it stand out is as simple as cover variants. Now, a perfect example of cover variants is, for example, Nintendogs. Nintendogs, if I'm not mistaken, was released in 2011. It was a launch title, and this one for the US edition has 3 cover variants, such as the French Bulldog, the Golden Retriever, and the Toy Poodle. But did you know that a part of having these 3, when you pick up a UAE edition, it is also different on the inside? Now, these ones usually are blank on the inside, and if you opened any of these 3DS cases, you usually notice that there's like some squares where the cartridge is located. There's these opened square spaces. And in the US edition, they're sometimes in blank because there's nothing printed on the inside. But for the UAE edition, however, when you open your 3DS case, the cover is also printed and developed on the inside as well. So for Nintendogs, you can see that where are these square spaces, they have different dog breeds to fill out those square spaces where the cartridge is located. And that's really cool. That's something that you cannot see in the US edition. You can only see it when you pick up a UAE edition. So yeah, some things are definitely different. Another example that I wanted to give you guys is Mario and Luigi's series. I'm a big fan of the series, and for this one in particular, I decided to order the US edition. Why? Because it comes in these special and unique red boxes that makes it stand out from the rest of the collection. So that by itself is already a plus for me. So I prefer picking them up in a US region than a UAE version. Now, another question that I get asked a lot, especially among collectors, is there any difference? Is there any monetary or value difference depending from where these games are coming from? Basically, based off of their region. A perfect example is, once again, Nintendogs. Nintendogs, and this is an opinion, do not take it as a fact, this is just theories that we come up with, is when this was a release title, games are released by batch. They create a batch, a number of copies that are going to be released in a certain region. And then depending how the popularity and the demand is in that region, it will determine if they're going to continue producing copies or if they cut their losses and then the product officially goes out of print. Now, I don't know if this is the same across all regions, but at least for the USA, I can talk on behalf of it. And I don't know if, in the time that I'm making this video, if the UAE had more copies, if it was more popular or less popular. I don't have all that information to offer in this video, but it's some of the theories of how it works based off of popularity and demand. Another game that has gone up on price, as an example, is Cave Story. Cave Story is a game, again, that a lot of people didn't pay attention to. And then now they probably realize, oh, it's a good game. It's out of print. It's hard to grab one copy. So obviously it's gonna go up in price. Now, let me make a full disclosure. Just because a game is ridiculously expensive or is going up in price or is a desirable item among collectors doesn't necessarily translate in it being a good game. I've tried a bunch of games that are ridiculously expensive that are crappy and garbage games. So expensive doesn't necessarily mean that it is a good game. So going back to what we were talking about, when you asked, does pricing change between UAE and US? The answer is probably yes. So again, it's all a matter of preference of which one you prefer. A lot of people have so many reasons when collecting of preferring the US over other regions, maybe because of monetary value, maybe because of cover variants, etc. The reasons are endless. I'm going to tag right now my 3DS series so you can check it out right now and find out what games to be on the lookout for, which ones are going up, which ones are still affordable to buy, and what I've added to my collection. So if you want to find out all of these things regarding to the 3DS system and this world of handhelds, make sure to click the video right now. Hey, we're here at RetroFest, and guys, today I have a challenge. Today I am going to try to find 5 items Capcom related. Now, as you all know, I have recently been accepted to the Capcom Creators Program, so I'm super excited to celebrate this good news by going towards game hunting 5 items Capcom related. Now, we have a special bonus, guys. I want you to drop in the comments below which Capcom character would you like me to cosplay as, and the majority of the votes that wins, I will be working to make it come true. So I want you to type it down in the comments below. Crystal, I think you should cosplay as this Capcom character, and I will be reading each and every one of your comments. So without further ado, let's go and see if I'm successful in finding 5 items Capcom related. Let's go. What are you doing recording me so close? Hello, peeps. What game hunting? All right, so far I'm like, look at the things. We're almost there. Under the sea. I'm gonna ask him. How much for this? I got it from this box over here.
Okay. What would you like to pay for Little Mermaid?
So I don't know if like, honestly, I'm like $5 or $6. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, it goes around 10, 11. So you want to do 7?
7 it is. Do you take card? All right, guys. I'm going to be picking up my very first Capcom item, the Little Mermaid. You know we have a challenge. I'm going to find 5 items. So far, so good. Let's go. All right, guys, as you all know, we got a challenge. We're looking for 5 items Capcom related. So right now I found Dead Rising. This one obviously is published by Capcom, but also I found Mickey Mouse Escape, I think it's called, Mouse Escape. So I'm gonna be ending up picking this. With this, it will be 3 items in total, narrowing it down to 2. So will I be able to do it? Will I be able to do it? We'll find out. We'll find out. All right, guys, we are narrowing it down to 2 items. 2 items left for the Capcom challenge. Successfully, I have found, ta-da! DuckTales. DuckTales, woo. Yep, that'll take me to one item left. And guys, don't forget to comment below what Capcom character you want me to cosplay as. We're gonna do it in celebration of me being part of the Capcom Creator Program. So let's get it. All right, so we're gonna go for this one here. And I'm gonna give you a card. I'm gonna pay with card right now.
Oh, so you're doing like all Capcom.
I'm going, yeah, I'm good. I'm going everything. And I just got accepted in the Creators Program, so it's kind of, I just thought it would be fun to do like a little challenge, go for Capcom games.
I'm just doing the Capcom just for NES.
Oh.
So, yeah, I'm a big Mega Man fan.
Well, right now I'm going for the core collection, spin-offs and remakes, but then maybe I'll jump into the imports later on. That's a dangerous field.
But you know, all Capcom right here.
I know. Well, I picked up Resident Evil 3. I know, dude. I know. I'm jumping in that rabbit hole right now. I got Resident Evil Mercenaries 3D for the 3DS. As soon as I picked it up, everybody was like, "Well, you need now the variant where there's like a misspelling in Revelations." And I'm like,
that's a rabbit hole you don't want to go down.
I was like, why do y'all do that to me? Because now I want to find it, and I know I'm gonna break the piggy bank for it.
Yeah. But yeah, they're tough games. Like,
They are. Yeah, they kick my butt. Thank you so much. All right, guys, we're gonna continue. It has been so good right now. Retrofest has been a blast. I've been successful, and we're just gonna keep going. We're just gonna keep going and seeing what more things we can find. Okay, so I'm gonna tag y'all for the ride. So let's go. We've just been having fun. I've been doing a little Capcom challenge. I've been doing my Resident Evil game hunt challenge for my series. And yeah, it's just been really fun. All right, guys, I'm super excited because even though it's not Resident Evil related, these are the ones that created some Resident Evil games, and it is Dino Crisis. I found Dino Crisis at a really good price. I also found Gradius. It's one of my favorite NES games. So yeah, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna pick it up. And hopefully we can pick up any more Capcom games for our Capcom challenge, and of course our Resident Evil challenge. So stay tuned for more.
Dino Crisis.
Oh my God, guys, I have been so successful in completing this Capcom challenge. I told you guys at the beginning of the video that I needed to find 5 items Capcom related, and I have to say, we did it, guys. We did it. First of all, I found Dino Crisis. This is a good one. I haven't played it yet, obviously, but I've heard a lot of good feedback. Everybody's been talking about this because I'm a big Resident Evil fan. So supposedly I should be able to enjoy this one, so that's one of them. I also picked up Dead Rising for the Xbox 360. This is a platinum hit. Really, really nice. Can't wait to play this as well. Little Mermaid. I've seen this one. I've seen gameplay, haven't played it, but really excited to pick it up. One of the most desired ones, I guess, is DuckTales. This is a popular one. I love the cartoons. It's a no-brainer. I had to pick up the game, y'all. Had to pick up the game. And then Mickey Mouse Escape. Pretty cute game, I've heard. And yeah, in total would be 5 items. So I had fun with this challenge. If you guys have any more ideas, any more challenges I can do at conventions, drop it in the comments below. But I hope you had fun, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Stay rad, beautiful peeps, and game on. Where the game hunt begins, guys, we are on episode number 2, where I go this time game hunting with my son. Guys, I had so much fun, and I cannot wait to show you guys everything I've picked up. So with that being said, let's talk about it. Hey, it's your girl Zap, where we talk about a mesh of the best retro and modern gaming, and of course we sprinkle in a little bit of 90s nostalgia. So if you like to take a trip back in time and relive the good old days, you came to the right spot. Guys, I'm so excited for this game hunting series because, as you all know, my ultimate goal for this series is going for a complete Resident Evil themed collection and having you guys tag along for the ride while we go the old good-fashioned way of game hunting. I am so happy because I really did score a lot of games, and we made a couple of stops. We started real early, and of course we started off with doing some things that are not necessarily gaming related, but that I am tagging you guys along for the ride. Done taking the car to the car wash and pampering ourselves, it was now time to get into the game hunting scene. And where was our first stop? Well, we decided to go to Game Exchange, and let me show you a little bit of what happened.
Isn't it adorable? I like it. Though I'm a much more bigger fan of Coca-Cola.
You can hug it.
Really? If they actually worked. Steve had one working. I think they still exist. Dude, this is not no joke. I've seen them. Like the real life? Yes. I'm not, but it was for promotion. Yeah. Then we get some keychains, I remember, and stuff. It was real cool. It was legit real. Alright, let's see what they got here. Skylander. Got some pretty good games. Nice. It's not bad actually. $19. I do want to change the case, but it's actually not bad. I'm gonna pick this one up for sure. Okay. All right. I mean, off to a great start.
So, Resident Evil 4. I love Assassin's Creed, but I got my particular favorites. Like, I love the Assassin's Creed 3. Like, he'll be in shock when he's like, what? Where are you? Look what I got.
So generally this store is one of those places where I have never been lucky. I just can't never find anything I'm looking for. But for some reason, when I went that day, I actually scored some of the games I was looking for. Such as Assassin's Creed, the very first one. I got it for Platinum Hits. As you all know, I am collecting for the Assassin's Creed series as well. So I thought this was totally worth it to pick up. It was cheap, like $5, so it didn't hurt to pick it up. And then Resident Evil related, I got to score Resident Evil 4, the remake for the Xbox Series X. I'm so happy I didn't pay that much. It was actually better to pick it up in person than trying to order it off online. So I'm super happy to have it with me, especially from a certain location where I generally don't have that much luck finding games. So off to a great start. After that, we went to Game Trade, another retro video game store that, again, it's one of those places that I kind of like, nah, I don't want to go. But I'm glad I did because, again, I once again scored. So let me show you guys what happened while we were there.
That's the third rack. It's $20. Alright, let me see how much this one is. Though I think I have this one already. Yeah, I do have this one now that I remember. I don't need this one. I guess. I mean, I need it. That would take me down to 5. Actually, and I got some games right now for the Xbox 360. I actually got Revelations here. And, sorry y'all. And I got Revelations 2. These are 2 spin-offs I don't have, so I need to check the price and see if it's worth it or not. But so far, like this one, and then these 2, I got it right here. Might actually pick these ones up. What do you think, Jay? Yeah. Yeah, should go for it.
So yeah, I'm so excited because I got to pick up Resident Evil Revelations for real cheap at less than $12 actually. So this really was a good find. And the best part about it is I also got to find Resident Evil 2 Revelations. Now the coolest thing about this one in particular is that it is actually factory sealed. So I was so excited and I said, why not? We found both Revelation games and one being factory sealed. Of course, there were plenty of other games, but I found them to be quite expensive and really not worth picking up. Next up, we went to Goodwill. Of course, you know we had to make a stop there, and maybe it was not gaming related, but we did find some pretty cool stuff. So let's check it out.
Alright, y'all, I've so far found Lady and the Tramp 2. It's not a game, but it's another VHS I can definitely add to my collection, so it's a win. It's a win on my books. Let's keep going. Okay, so I generally don't make stops at a pawn store, but pawn shop, so we're gonna see if we're successful and see what we can find. And if not, then whatever, you know, you can't win them all, so we're just gonna find out.
Can't you believe it, guys? I actually ended up paying only 50 cents for this VHS. You all know I have a VHS collection, so it's a no-brainer that I'm going to pick up every once in a while a new VHS. And I found this really cool Chucky coffee mug. It's actually really impressive. I only paid like $2 for it, and if you look at the mug, on one side it has Chucky,
And then on the other side, it has a message. So after successfully visiting all these places, and of course making a stop to fill our bellies with some good old food, we decided to make one more stop. And oh my God, guys, this is absolutely the highlight of this entire series. I'm so excited. I had called beforehand to really make sure that they had something that I would be looking for, because it is a long drive, guys, but it was worth the drive, because wait till you guys see what I found. I don't know why I feel like doing that type of music.
I didn't even know they had a Hello Kitty Game Boy. That's so legit. And I didn't even know that's big. So cool. Alright guys, y'all told me to pick this up, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I'll pick this up anytime soon. But it's still cool to see it. I was expecting it to be like much bigger, but it's so little. It's so little, isn't it? Yeah. It's really cute. I find it adorable, not gonna lie. I find it super adorable. See? Alright guys, not gonna lie, I found a couple good games, so we're going for it. I'm really excited.
Did you want a bag for him?
Yes. Can't you believe it, guys? Everything I found in that store, including even the chainsaw controller, which, gotta be honest, it was quite expensive for me to even consider picking up. But not only that, I found these really two cool titles to now add to my Resident Evil collection, such as Resident Evil The Umbrella Chronicles for the Wii. I've never played none of these games, so I was really stoked to find another great game for the Wii, and I just can't believe that in one day, guys, in 5 or 6 stops, we found so many Resident Evil games. And I just call that a complete success. This has been an amazing experience, guys. Episode 2 has been absolutely mind-blowing for me, because I have not been expecting to find so many good Resident Evil titles in one day. But above all, it's not even so much about going game hunting, it's about creating memories. And I'm so happy because that day I really got to bond with my son, hang out with him for an entire day, and just have fun, be goofy, sing songs in the car, and just have so much fun doing things that I wouldn't commonly do on a daily basis. And if you guys want to watch more game hunting videos like this, I am going to tag right now our playlist Where the Game Hunt Begins if you're interested in tagging along for the ride. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Stay rad and game on.
The moment has come, guys, where I'm going to be ranking every single Resident Evil game that I've played so far in this Resident Evil marathon. So ever since I started my Resident Evil marathon, I've been live streaming it both on Twitch and on YouTube Fridays at 7 p.m. Central Time. We've been trying to go through every single Resident Evil game that I own in my Resident Evil collection. And I have to say, I've been having a blast, but also quite a bit of rage session.
So it says, I told you to skip 4, 5, and 6. Ashley just tagging along silent, no gun, no help. She ain't doing crap. And then wasting my first aid spray too. Cause all she does, I swear to God, all she does is this. That's what she does. I swear to God, I'm so pissed at Ashley. This is what she does. Hold up. Leah! Leah!
within my favorite Resident Evil games, I have quite a few. Let's start off with Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Now, I loved so much this game that I played it on Game Pass. I have it for my Xbox, but not only do I have it for the Xbox, I also have it for my PS4 in VR. That's how much I love this game. The survival horror aspect of this game is simply top notch. Like, you're in a house in the middle of Louisiana and you have this family that is just hunting you down while you're trying to save Mia that is kidnapped in this property. It is terrifying, but at the same time, it kind of keeps you on the verge of wanting to explore and learn more about this family and what exactly is going on and why Mia is there in the first place. But following up, another one of my favorites that is just up there that I would play it multiple times is Resident Evil Village. This one is the most recent Resident Evil game that has dropped, and I love this game. It's very similar to Resident Evil 7. It plays similarly, but now you're in this whole world where there's so many different bosses to encounter, from the castle to the swamp and even to Heisenberg. Heisenberg is one of my favorite bosses out of all of them. Yeah. Oh, Jesus, it's bad. It's just like love at first sight. It's just their personalities are so well done, and you kind of learn how to love them. And obviously, as any Resident Evil game, you can play this in multiple difficulty levels. It has a lot of replayability to unlock a lot of weapons, little items, collectibles, customizable things. And it just is a game that is pretty addicting. And now with the release of the DLC of Rose, I'm looking forward to going back to this game and playing it all over again. Who knows, maybe I might even end up streaming it. Now, another one of my favorites that is up there with Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil Village is Resident Evil 2. I made this as a Christmas gift for myself. This is for the GameCube, and I simply love Resident Evil 2. It is up there with 7 and 8. The lore of the game is really well done, introducing, you know, the what I call the villain, basically, who is Mr. X, which he is terrifying, chasing you down in this police station. Oh my God, the stress was real, y'all, when I was streaming this game. But it just made the game more fun. I love it. It was so much fun. Fun fact, just so y'all know, I actually ended up streaming the remake for Resident Evil 2, and I dare say that the remake is really well done. And I find it maybe even more fun than the original. Not saying that it takes away from the original. I think that anybody that's a Resident Evil fan will say that they prefer the OG, and that's okay. But for me personally, when I played the remake, I was quite in shock, and I was like, yeah, this is a really well done game. So if you don't own a GameCube and you still want to play Resident Evil 2, my suggestion is actually purchasing the remake and playing that one, and you'll be good to go. But following up with Resident Evil 2, another one of my favorites that is simply up there and is a no-brainer is Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. I played, once again, the remake for Resident Evil 3, and wow. I still think Resident Evil 2 remake is better over Resident Evil 3, but it is still a well done remake. I would highly suggest for anybody out there that hasn't played it yet that you should play the remake if you can. And with Nemesis, again, chasing you everywhere, it just adds to the game. But what I also love about Resident Evil 3 is that it's a little bit more open to exploration at your own risk, obviously. But if you're willing to explore the city and check out for hidden collectibles, then you're gonna have the funnest time of your life. But also you might be a little stressed out knowing that someone is lurking in the shadow. So I finished covering my favorite Resident Evil games, and with that comes a quick shout out to my limited merch drop, Too Legit to Rage Quit. Here it is, guys, my limited edition for the first 100 peeps at my Teespring store. We have it both available for females and males, so definitely check it out, and the link will be in the video description. All right, you beautiful wats, let's start revealing some of the games that might shock some of y'all. I don't know. Or maybe some of y'all are a fan of this game and will be glad that I haven't included in my list. Who knows?
Take her away, Ian.
Yeah, take it away, Ernie. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
One of them is actually my most precious item that I cherish out of my entire Resident Evil collection. If you've been following my series, Where the Game Hunt Begins, then you know this has taken me a while to acquire and has quite a bit of story behind it. I'm not going to take the time to explain it here. That is something for you to watch. So I will definitely make sure to link that series after this video. But one of them is Resident Evil Wow, Jesus, why do I always do the same thing? I'm gonna leave it in this video. I don't know why I always say Resident Evil Ninja Gaiden. Resident Evil Gaiden. I think the reason why I like this game, and I will explain why, is because I find fascinating the whole development process for the Resident Evil games and how they adapted each game to the system itself. So me playing it on the Xbox Series X and then going back in time, kind of like the Back to the Future thing, and playing this Resident Evil game on the Game Boy Color was quite shocking, because that's like legit the first thing I thought. I was like, how were they capable of putting this game on a Game Boy Color, which was so limited for its time? And that's what drew me to the game, and I have nothing but respects for it, because it was so clever the way they integrated the whole entire gameplay and make it just transition as smoothly as it can. So like, for example, you know, you have your traditional exploration where you go and kind of investigate this ship, and you can collect your items, you can collect weapons, you can collect ammo, you can, you know, collect files and read a little bit more of what is going on in the game. But then whenever you encounter a zombie or some sort of enemy, I love how they do it, because Game Boy Color is always known for their music and how they integrate it in the gameplay. So as soon as you're close to an enemy, the music starts spiking and it kind of gets louder and louder and louder to let you know that there is an enemy nearby. But then once you say, let's say you bump into the enemy, then they quickly change it into kind of like a first person view. And you have this slider where you gotta time your action right. And that's the way the character will shoot at the zombie, or will use their knife or whatever weapon you have equipped. I find that fascinating and so smart for a Game Boy Color game. So I just have nothing but respect. So really it's just that. I just respect and love to learn how they've built games for different consoles and made it even possible. Another game that is, you know, maybe an unpopular opinion, but I enjoy it, is Resident Evil 5. Now, I do know some folks in my community that actually do enjoy Resident Evil 5, but again, I can understand why some of y'all don't like it or may not enjoy it. It's definitely more action driven. So if you are all about the survival horror or, you know, of stealth surviving, then I guess I can understand why you feel it takes away from it. But I like it because maybe I'm just used to action games. So the way Resident Evil 5 works is that you kind of just transition into different scenes, and then it's like waves of enemies coming after you and you basically trying to take them down. So it's more about just surviving those waves and getting through a level. Let's just put it that way. It kind of is like just getting through levels. And while you advance, then you still find out about the story, but it just kind of plays differently. So I feel like if you enter and jump into this game with an open mindset, knowing that the genre is different and the way you're going to play the game is different, then you will enjoy it. So I've covered the games that I find quite enjoyable. Now let's go to my least favorite. That does not mean that they're bad games by all means, but they were, as a matter of preference, they will not be my first choice or my go-to. Yeah, I know. Here we go. I can already hear the comments. I can already see the comments coming in. That's okay. That's all right. If you love the game, good for you, buddy, because I most certainly don't. My thoughts are that because I jumped so late into Resident Evil and I've played the newer games, going back in time and playing the older ones has made me realize that how much the games have changed. You know what I mean? How much they've tweaked the gameplay and the limitations that they had back in the day for even creating these games, you know? So kudos for even bringing this genre and, you know, birthing one of the best franchises there are out there, which is Resident Evil, really. But when I played Resident Evil 4, the first thing that kind of threw me off is the whole cameras. Like, I don't have the freedom that I have with 7 and 8 to completely manipulate my camera and move it to any angle that I want, but also be able to still move and use my weapons while still having control over my cameras. But also another thing that kind of threw me off is that some actions are like 2 or 3 steps to get it done. So it wasn't just as simple as pressing or triggering a button to do that action. It was like, oh, you gotta press, you know, L plus A plus move this thing to do one action. That for me is what throws me off of the game. So what my hopes are that when they do Resident Evil 4 remake, that it will play similar, which I think that's what it's gonna happen. It will play similar to the Resident Evil 2 or 3 remake, where I'll have a lot of more freedom to control my camera, where the inputs are gonna be a lot more simplified, where I can actually have a more enjoyable experience to play the game all over again. And the next one, which will disappoint some folks, and I am sorry, but it's the truth. I can't sugarcoat it, is Resident Evil 1. I can already see the comments, but I'm just sharing my own personal gamer experience. Now, again, it's not a bad game. It's a good game. It's a really good game. And it is what brought this whole genre of survival horror. So I'm like super thankful for its beginnings and where it all started. But I can't, again, with the cameras, oh my God. It's just like, I gotta play at a slower pace. You know, I can't just rush through it because of the cameras. Now, I understand that if you play it for a while, you might get used to it. But for me, getting used to it doesn't necessarily translate in the game being enjoyable. So like there's certain scenes that I knew there's an enemy, you know, chasing me, or I'm locked in a really tight room, and simply moving was already complicated for me. They're really good games. It's just like, as a matter of preference from where I'm coming from, it might not be my go-to or my first choice. So now that I shared all of my favorite to my least favorite games, let me know in the comments below your own list of your favorite Resident Evil games. If you are a hardcore Resident Evil fan or you just enjoy this series, then let me know. Maybe we might share something in common, maybe we don't, but regardless, I would love to interact with each and every one of you guys. And while you're doing that, why not click this video right here so you can enjoy my entire game hunt series of me building my Resident Evil collection. Where the game hunt begins, we are starting this journey and maybe finalizing it of completing a full Resident Evil collection. And about that, we're gonna talk about right now. So it's been more than 3 months, y'all. 3 months that I have been on this journey of trying to go for a complete Resident Evil collection. And I have to say, I've been pretty successful, and within every episode, we've been adding more and more games. I'm really excited because I don't know if I'll ever be done with this collection. I feel like I'm just starting. But guys, I got some mega items that I'm about to drop in this episode, so stay tuned, because if you are a Resident Evil hardcore collector, you're gonna definitely want to know what are these hard to find items in 2022 and how much are they going for. So the first item I'm about to show you guys, if you've been following closely where the game hunt begins and watching my previous episodes, is of course Resident Evil Revelations. I've picked this up on the Xbox Series X and for the Xbox 360. But do you know that I didn't stop there? I just had to pick up another Resident Evil Revelation, but this time for the 3DS. Now this is so cool because he knew that I'm going for a Resident Evil collection and decided to donate this important piece of history to my collection. A special thanks to Bohan King. I got the manual here and the disc that he actually used when performing this beta test. Now the next 3 items I'm about to show is thanks to the community and helping me just adding more and more items to the Resident Evil collection. Let's start off with Resident Evil 5. Now this one is really neat because it is my very first steelbook that I get to own in my Resident Evil collection. Of course, I already own Resident Evil 5 in multiple formats again, but it's still really neat to have this added to my collection. Continuing on, now these stickers are really cool. For those that do not know, back in the day, when you had a PlayStation, they would sell you memory cards. And sometimes you can get stickers to label your memory cards. Also, from the community, I found this really neat. I got gifted this book. Now, I don't know if this is Japanese, if this is Korean, if this is Chinese. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. But it's still so neat to have because this is from Biohazard Zero. It's supposed to be like some sort of strategy guide that teaches you, and it's almost like a walkthrough basically. And now let's continue with some of the high-end games. Now let me share with you a little bit of the story of how I got to get this game. The first one is Resident Evil Gaiden. Now this game, I actually picked it up loose because for those of you that do know about this item in particular, you know this is skyrocketing. First of all, it's a hard to find game. This would be in the spin-off category, which is already even harder to get in 2022. This game complete goes for a ridiculous amount. I'm talking of over $1,000 if it is CIB complete. The box and manual by itself can go around easily to from $500 to $600 to $700. And the game by itself, still goes for a ton of money, from $200 to $300. So this is definitely a high-end item, or a collector's item if you want to call it that way. So how did I get my hands on this? I've done a lot of research, guys, from Facebook Marketplace to Mercari to eBay to Amazon. I've searched everywhere for this game. Fortunately, I got to find this item on eBay. I reached out to the private collector and I sent him an offer, and he actually accepted. So I'm showing you guys right now screenshots of how much I paid for this game. I still had to break the piggy bank and pay quite a bit, but I feel like what I paid for was more than decent for this game loose. Now, obviously, when I paid for this, I picked it up loose. So I'm still missing a box for it. Visit Etsy. I reached out to an artist that recreates these boxes, high quality boxes, and I got to order one for this game. So as soon as that box comes in, I will definitely take pictures and show you guys the final product of the game in its Game Boy Color box. Second item that is a high-end item right now and hard to find, and some people didn't even know this game had a physical release for it, is Resident Evil Umbrella Corps for the PS4. I personally did not know this had a physical release until I started doing my research of the spin-offs and games I needed to pick up. This was one of them. I actually paid over $100 or so for this item and had to wait around a month for international shipping. This item is hard to find, and when you find it, once again, prices are skyrocketing. And now for the grand prize. My Resident Evil chainsaw! A lot of you guys were constantly leaving comments on my previous videos of, Crystal, you need to pick up the chainsaw and have it in your collection. If you're having a Resident Evil collection, the chainsaw has to be included. Go for $300, $400, $500, $600. I've seen them for even more. But yeah, if you get to find them, again, at a decent price that you are willing to pay for, grab it. Grab it as fast as you can. And with this, I have to say that this has been one hell of a ride. I've done so much within 3 months, and seeing now all these games line up really does impress me a lot of how much this collection has grown. If you have any suggestions of more titles that I should be on the lookout, that I should pick up, that I should add, let me know. Of course, I will link now some new episodes of me starting my game hunt for a 3DS collection. So if you're collecting for the 3DS, you might want to check it out right now. So it's been 8 months since I've done my last collection tour, and guess what, guys? It is collection time! Collection time! Mom, you know you're making a video, right? Oh yeah. Let's start the tour. So I'm going to guide you through this entire collection tour, section by section, but also highlighting some of my favorite items out of my entire collection. All right, guys, so let's start on my right side. There is plenty to see and plenty to break down to you guys. So starting from the very, very top of this shelving, I have some really cool collectible items, such as my Assassin's Creed Xbox 360. This is actually one of my favorite games. I got a lot of plushies, believe me, I'm not even joking about it. Plushies, 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 and I cannot stop collecting plushies. Actually, I have stopped. You know, I don't know, they're gonna resurrect or come back to life and just like haunt me in my dreams because I'm not taking care of them. But anyways, I have some amiibos from Monster Hunter Stories, and I have some Cuphead glass that I want to give a special thanks to Dizzy for gifting me this. This was one of my many Christmas gifts that you guys actually gave me, so thank you so much for that. Earthworm Jim lunchbox is one of my favorites. And yeah, it's just one of those really big, bulky items that don't really fit anywhere. So that's generally why I have them at the very top. Now, following to the next shelf, I don't only collect games, I also am a passionate VHS collector. So you're going to see lots and lots of movies, a good chunk of variety, and I usually have this tradition where I have VHS nights with my son, so we tend to sit down and watch some really cool movies.
Energy when you eat one. And here's how you fight middlemen.
Now on my second shelf, this has changed quite a bit. I just had it for gaming in general. Recently, I changed it because my collection has been growing like crazy. So now it is a dedicated space for my 3DS collection. If you are a 3DS collector, definitely make sure to check out my playlist that I've put together all about Nintendo 3DS and Nintendo 2DS and what to collect and how to start your collection. So this is my own personal collection. I have a good, decent amount of games that I actually know I'm going to play. Yeah, this is my beautiful 3DS. I guess I would say holy grail at this point because I really, really love the 3DS. So to my next shelf, this one has even more VHS. I like to call this the 90s corner, the 70s, 80s, 90s corner, because I have a lot of my favorite shows and cartoons that I used to watch back in the day. But then I have a dedicated space for amiibos. So I have almost every single Animal Crossing amiibo. I think I still might be missing one or not. Maybe I have them all. But these are all of my amiibos. I added Chibi Robo recently to my amiibo collection because of my 3DS collection. Moving on, this is now another gaming dedicated space. This one, I would call it retro gaming / modern gaming because there is a balance between both. So I have some retro games here, like my PlayStation games. I have Wii U games. I have Nintendo 64, NES, Atari. So there is a little variety here when it comes to retro games. Primarily, it's games that, again, I grew up with, I owned, and I wanted to recover and have in my collection. So one of my many favorite items that bring me lots of memories is, like, for example, Glover for the Nintendo 64. It is a game I used to play all the time with my brother and my family, and it was super complicated, and I don't even think I ever beat this game, to be honest, but it's just one of those games that, because I have so many good memories, I knew that I had to have in my collection. But I also have my Nintendo Switch collection, which obviously goes more towards the modern gaming section, and that one I have a good variety, mainly games that I really, really enjoyed when now that I own them digital. But I kind of double dipped and I was like, okay, I need a physical copy. I need that physical copy in my collection and feel like I actually own it. Now at the very bottom, I have even more VHS, some more movies, you know, classical movies from back in the day, but also some more cartoons like Garfield, Rugrats, DuckTales. I mean, a lot of you probably grew up watching DuckTales, right? It is a classic. It's such a great show. So I have a good variety there when it comes to DuckTales. I kind of wanted to highlight to you guys, and maybe you guys don't even know existed, but for example, I have this really cool Sega calculator. I didn't even know that Sega made a calculator back in the day, but I have one there. I also have the Flintstones McDonald's Happy Toys. So I was like, yeah, the Happy Meal toys. I love it. This actually is the very exact toy I owned back in the day as a little girl. Also, I always wanted Polly Pocket. I never owned one. So now as an adult, I fulfilled my dream of owning a Polly Pocket. So there you go. I have a Polly Pocket and I have Furby. I mean, I think everybody owned Furby back in the day, right? But this one doesn't have batteries because my God, does it talk when it does. And then at the very bottom of this shelf, I have some of the more bulkier items like Light Bright. I never owned a Light Bright back in the day. It was one of those that I was mesmerized every time I watched their commercials and their ads. I always wanted to own one, but we just couldn't afford it. So now as an adult, I have the original Light Bright, but I also have the more modern one that they remade as well. And this little ice maker from One Piece. I am a big One Piece fan. I love One Piece. Every time I have the opportunity, I'll sit down and watch the show, but there's so many episodes that it's almost impossible to catch up with it, but that's really cool. And then just some more VHS. So really, if you want to see it this way, this is like more of my VHS section than anything else. Now, when it comes to my glass display, this one is what I consider my holy grail. So this has their own dedicated space for it, and it's the ones I treasure the most. So let me show you real quick what I got over here. So let's start with this. This is a really cool idea I just wanted to do. It kind of reminds me of my whole progress and journey as a content creator, everywhere I've visited and everywhere I've been to. So these are all of my VIP passes, my content creator passes of every single con, every single event, every single place that I've been to, representing my channel, representing my community, and representing all the goodness that ZapCristal has to offer. So this is just a reminder of my entire journey and my entire career as a content creator. And I love to see it there. It's growing, and it just kind of reminds me that we are on the right path and that we're doing really, really well. But at the very top of my glass display, I have more plushies. These are some of my favorites, but also some really cool figures. I grew up with Tomb Raider. I had to have your girl over there. So I have Tomb Raider at the very top. And then, like I said, I have it divided by Holy Grail. So this first section over here where my little museum is, if you want to call it that way, is for Back to the Future. So I love Back to the Future. My favorite movies is Back to the Future 1 and 2, but regardless, I have it all here. So I have some games, the movies, a laser disc, the figures, and some collectibles, which my personal favorite out of everything there is the hoverboard. I have a 1/5 scale replica of the exact hoverboard from the movie. It's pretty neat, and it's out of everything I have there, it's one of my favorite items from Back to the Future. But moving on, in my second section is a holy shrine dedicated to the Flintstones. I know I've said it and I will say it again. I love the Flintstones. It just reminds me of me sitting down and watching it with my mom and my dad. I own the movie, I have books, and I have these really cool, this is like my favorite thing out of the entire Flintstone collection. I have these really cool wind-up figures that I collected recently of Pebbles and Fred. They are amazing, vintage as hell, and they are still in their original packaging. On our third section is Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Now come on, y'all, you tell me in the chat, drop it, comment below, say, Zap, I am a fan of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I wanna know, I'm gonna read every comment, I'm gonna count, and I'm gonna figure out how many of us we can form a team and call ourselves Who Framed the Roger Rabbit Squad, because I love this movie. So I have some really cool items here, like your DVDs, your VHS, there are cartoons, because there were actually a cartoon show for Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which was really fun, actually, really entertaining to watch. And out of all of these items that I have here, my most favorite item, and it's due to nostalgia, is the Who Framed Roger Rabbit lunchbox. And then for my last shelf, you guys should know by now, but if it's your first time here in this channel, then just know I am a huge Miss Pac-Man fan. Like, that's my girl. I back her up every day, anytime, anywhere.
Ready.
We did it! We're here!
Yeah, but where?
Would you believe the crocodile cage at the Pac-Land Zoo?
Bad boy right here on my, wait, well, this is my left, this is my right. All right, on my right side. And this one is a little bit more gaming driven, and you will see why. So starting from the very top, I have what you call those big boxes. Again, bulky items. They don't really fit anywhere. I have this ginormous Pac-Man plushie that one of my friends actually gifted me. I had no place to put him, and he stayed up there because it was just perfect for him. And my SNES box with more amiibos like Tomb Raider and another amiibo from Monster Hunter Stories. I'm a Capcom creator, so sometimes I get sent stuff when the games are released, and that's one of those really cool items that Capcom sent me. Now, moving on to this next shelf is really neat items that I truly enjoy, and some of them are actually some collectibles. So for example, I have my Resident Evil chainsaw. This was one of these highly sought items that I really
wanted.
because I am collecting for Resident Evil. I am a hardcore Resident Evil fan. I also have this game here from Retromania. The reason why I have it highlighted up there is because I am in the game, and it's just another milestone that reminds me of every little single thing that I've been able to do as a content creator. So I was like, yeah, this deserves its own spot, because why not? We need to celebrate everything we do. And then, you know, just amiibos, plushies, pins, and Blockbuster. I love Blockbuster. Any item I see with a Blockbuster seal automatically has to be in my collection. So that's a no-brainer. And this one is actually really cool because this is the original Blockbuster rental case. Where if this one is actually for a game rental case. So when you rented games for the weekend, this is the box that they would give it to you when you rented it from Blockbuster. Like I said, I'm a huge Resident Evil fan, so it's a no-brainer. My whole collection started with the main games, but also with all of the spin-offs. I'm really proud of this collection. Just like my 3DS, if there's two collections that I am highly proud of, is my 3DS and my Resident Evil collection. Why? Because they both started on my YouTube channel, and I did a lot of game hunt videos, and I brought you guys for the ride, and you guys got to see the entire process of me building from scratch this collection even in the first place. So some of my favorite items, it's kind of hard because I really like them all, but one of my many favorite items have been those items that are were really hard for me to find, and now that I finally own them, it's just a huge satisfaction. So like, for example, my Resident Evil Gaiden for Game Boy Color was one of those that, that took me, I don't know, like 4 or 5 months to get a hold of someone who was willing to sell me a copy and at a price that I was able to afford it. And now owning it, it still feels very surreal to know that I actually am a proud owner of that game. But also Resident Evil Survivor is another one. I worked so hard in trying to find it, and I'm glad I own it. And from the PS4, actually, I now own Resident Evil Umbrella Corps, which is actually one of those games that a lot of people didn't even know had a physical release for it. And as soon as I found out that it did, I just immediately picked it up and added it to my Resident Evil collection. And then, you know, just other games, like right now I love Resident Evil 2. So having it for the GameCube is a dream come true. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis for the PlayStation. I am missing some games. I'm still missing Resident Evil 3 Nemesis for the GameCube and Resident Evil Code Veronica for the GameCube. I know it's a little bit up there. I still have faith that one day I will be the proud owner of both of them. But in the meantime, I'm still missing them. I had them in other versions, but you know, I don't own every single copy from every single version. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe one day I might be able to add them to my collection. But moving on now, I have another designated space for gaming. This one is dedicated to retro gaming in general. Why? Because I have a lot of Nintendo Power magazines I never got to own any Nintendo Power magazines back in the day, and we never purchased one. The only times I was able to see one was whenever we went to GameStop or, you know, to a game store. But then over here, you'll see some of those NES games. Some of them I owned back in the day, and some of them I don't, but now as an adult, I really do enjoy playing them. So yeah, they were worthy of being there in this space. And then I have some books here, like some strategy guides, like for example, for Resident Evil, which are my favorite strategy guides that I have here. And, you know, like for example, this manual, it says 10 ways to stay Zap happy. You know, one of those ways is actually smashing that like button. So go ahead and smash that like button so you can keep seeing this girl happy. So yeah, but anyways, moving on, I have this other space, and this is like a mesh of whatever fits in there, okay? There's not really a theme going on there. It's just everything cramped together. So that one I still gotta organize, but I think it's working so far. So in this section, I have more books of Garfield. Like I said, I wanted to grab every single one of them as possible, if possible, and here they are. I have this really cool VCR. This is a Philips Magnavox, and I love it because it's like a clear purple. You know, back in the day, that was a thing where everything, they used to do like these rainbow color editions. So this VCR is one of them. And I have the majority of my Xbox 360 and Xbox Series X games here. I'm an Xbox girl. That's the primary console I game on. So it's every time if I'm going to pick up a game, it's almost 100% guarantee that it's going to be on the Xbox if possible. And actually, when we move to our next shelf, you'll see Pebbles. Pebbles is right down there. She's my favorite baby girl. She's right there. And then I have my sign that says Zap, Stay Rad, and Game On. I have this really cool Pac-Man board game. I haven't played it. For those that keep asking me, Crystal, do you play it? No. And then at the very bottom here, it's weird because I don't really consider myself a Funko Pop collector, but these are the ones I truly, truly, truly wanted. So right now I own the complete set for Candyland. I love Candyland. I grew up with Candyland, so that was a no-brainer. I have the entire collection of Miss Pac-Man. I have the entire collection of the Flintstones, and I have Tom and Jerry here complete. And I have Astro, my boy from the Jetsons, these two shelves. But like I said, I'm not done. I'm not done. This is just like 1/3 of my collection. What? Because right now over here, I added recently this Arcade 1-Up tabletop arcade celebrating 40 years of Miss Pac-Man. Even though I own a original cab, you know, the bigger version is what I mean for when it comes to the Arcade 1-Up. I still wanted to pick this one up because it brings some different games that are not included in the other one, but also it just has a really sleek design, like simulating the wood grain and all that. And then it says 40th anniversary of Miss Pac-Man on the side. So I was like, yeah, I got it for a really good deal, guys. And if you want to know how I got this and how much I paid for it, then there will be a video in the video description, a video link that you can click and watch it in your own spare time. But this is my latest addition when it comes to this space. Another thing that I own is a really cool CRT. We have it here in the living room where my collection is, and that's where I get to watch and have some great VHS nights with my son. And I love it. It's just really complete because not only can you watch VHS, but you can also watch DVDs if you wanted to watch DVDs there. So it's all in one, it's compact, it fits perfectly in that corner, and I'm just glad that we own it. We all love platforms, RPGs, and open worlds, but in this video, I'm going to present to you 13 spooky games to play this Halloween, because why not? We all love to get scared. Now there's a spooky game for everyone, so find out what category you are. Of course, we split it up in 3 categories because I love number 3. Not really, but let's just go with the flow really. But anyhow, our first category will be newbie, but still spooky. classic horror, and for all those veterans like me, survival veterans. Now, the first game on my list is called Flipping Death, and Flipping Death is all about possessing the living, aiding the dead, while flipping between worlds of Flipping Death. It is a puzzling adventure platformer where you find yourself filling in for Death himself. Maybe your new powers will help you solve the mystery of your demise. Now, this game is available on Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and PC via Steam. It is a fun, enjoyable game filled and jam-packed with a lot of humor, and you are guaranteed to have a great time. Number 2 on my list is Animal Crossing New Horizon, the Halloween Festival. Now, this limited time event allows you to celebrate the Halloween season with a special collection of pumpkin-themed spooky items. You can cook up some special spooky cookies, decorate your home both indoors and outdoors with really cool items, and plus, you can collect recipes for crafting, cooking, and more. Now, on October 31st, you even get a special visit from Jack the Pumpkin himself. And a part of the Halloween season, you also have another holiday that you can celebrate, which is a Mexican holiday known as the Day of the Dead. This happens around October 25th to November the 3rd. So really, if you just want a wholesome experience while still getting a little bit spooked, then Animal Crossing New Horizons Festival may be the option for you. Number 3 on my list is one of my personal favorites, and that is Bendy and the Ink Machine. Bendy and the Ink Machine is a first-person puzzle action horror game that begins in the far days past of animation and ends in a very dark future. You play as Henry as he revisits the demons of his past by exploring the abandoned animator's workshop of Joey Drew Studios. With twists and turns at every corner, you never know who or what is waiting for you in this world of shadow and ink. Solve the riddle, escape the workshop, but above all, fear the machine and survive. I know I had to, so you're gonna have to do a little bit of work to escape from this machine, so good luck. Now, number 4 on my list, I cheated. I know, welcome to my video. I included 2 games in one, and why? Because they're done by the same studio, and that is called Play Dead Studios. They designed Limbo and Inside, and I thought that either one would make a perfect fit to this list. Now, both of these games are 2D side scrollers incorporating a physics system, which means that they govern environmental objects and your playable character. In Limbo, you play as an unnamed boy, and you play through dangerous environments and traps as you search for your sister. Now, this one is presented in black and white tones and minimal ambient sounds to create an eerie atmosphere often associated with the horror games. I'm telling you, don't sleep on these games. They are pretty terrifying, and they do a really good job with telling you the story without any dialogue in the game. You kind of play and discover as you go. So either games for you is a go. Now, number 1 on my list is Zombies Ate My Neighbors. It is one of my personal favorites, and if you were to play any game from this list, I would highly suggest Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Now, Zombies Ate My Neighbors is a 16-bit cult classic that lets you play as Zeke and Julie, 2 teenager stars whose goal is to save their adorable and nice neighbors, like cheerleaders and babies, from a fight worse than polyester. Find your way through 55 horror-filled levels with enemies such as relentless chainsaw maniacs, mummies, evil dolls, and so much more. I love this game. If you haven't played it, you have to check it out. Now, number 2 on my list is called Demon's Crest. This is for the SNES, and it is a side-scrolling platform, and the story revolves around the crest, which are 6 magical stones which presides over the respective elements, such as fire, water, earth, etc. When combined, the Crest of Infinity will appear with the ability to conquer all realms with it. So the gameplay is a standard mix of platforming with mid-RPG elements. Now, number 3 on my list is Ghouls and Ghosts. Ghouls and Ghosts has a gameplay that is similar to Ghosts and Goblins. The player controls the Knight Arthur, who must advance through a series of eerie levels and defeat a number of undead and demonic creatures in his quest to restore all people who have been rest in peace by Lucifer, including his beloved princess, Prin Prin, back to life.
I just wanted to do that so bad. It's just a weird name. It's just a near. They could have called her Esmeralda, Sophia, Stephanie, but she's called Princess Fiona. But they call her Princess Prin Prin.
Now, if you're a fan of horror films and scary movies, then Friday the 13th is the option for you. Now, the objective of this game is quite simple. You must stay alive long enough to find a way to defeat Jason once and for all. Choose from 6 camp counselors at the start of the game, and good luck while exploring different locations and saving a number of victims from Jason. Now, before we move on to the list, you know what you need to be courageous enough in doing, in smashing that like button. So do me a favor, smash that like button, and let's move on with the spooky list. Now, for all those survival veterans out there, if you're courageous enough, then you have to be ready for some action as you dive into Little Nightmares 1 or 2. Immerse yourself in Little Nightmares, a dark, whimsical tale that will confront you with your childhood fears. Help 6 escape the mall, a vast, mysterious vessel inhabited by corrupted souls that are looking for their next meal. It is spooky, guys, and it will throw you off, so you better be ready for it. Now, number 2 on my list, you know I have to recommend a Resident Evil game as a Resident Evil fan that I am. But out of all of the Resident Evil games, the one I would highly suggest for all those survival veterans is Resident Evil Biohazard. Now, as it marks the new beginning for a survival horror, you play in first-person perspective. It is powered by the RE engine, which horror reaches incredible heights of immersion as you enter a terrifying world of fear, and you have to fight to survive in this abandoned southern farmhouse. Now, the goal for this game is quite simple. 1, can you survive? And 2, can you save Mia? Good luck. In Cult of the Lamb, you play as a possessed lamb saved from annihilation by a stranger and must repay their debt by building a loyal following in his name. You get to build your flock, destroy non-believers, and assert your cult's dominance. Now, this game is rated for mature audience. It has mature content such as cartoon violence and a twisted story, as well as a plot in this game. So I definitely recommend that if you're going to play it, play with an open mindset and be ready to process everything that you're going to go through in this game. Now, number 4 on my list is Outlast. Now, I gotta be honest, I know a lot about this game, but this game, I haven't even been courageous enough to play it. Hopefully one day I will accept the challenge, but I am too timid into diving into it. So let me know in the comments if you've played this game, because I have most certainly not. But Outlast is quite literally hell, and it is an experiment that you can't survive in Outlast. This is a first-person survival horror game where you play as an investigative journalist, Miles, while exploring an asylum and trying to survive long enough to discover its terrible secrets, of course, if you dare. This is a stealth-based gameplay, so you're not a fighter. You have 0 weapons. All you have is your camera, which drains its batteries pretty quick, and you just quite literally have to run and survive while these unpredictable enemies will spawn from any corner. So quite literally, you have to survive. This is just one of those games that I don't know if I'll ever play it one day, but wish me luck if I do. Now, number 5 on my list is Alan Wake. This is one of my personal favorites, and it recently has been remastered. So in Alan Wake, it is presented in a style of a TV series, which is my personal favorite, and it features Alan Wake as one of the best-selling writers out there. Happy spooky season. Ow, that hurt. Actually hurt.